conflict resolution in Mexico. I want to start by saying this is all for fun here. Perhaps I'll say something in this video that is helpful or insightful, and there's an outside chance that what I'm saying is interesting, but we love Zihuatanejo and Mexico, and one of the goals is to convince other people that it's a great place to visit. We're just having fun. Okay, so on to conflicts in Mexico. Driving. This is mostly a non-conflict zone. I've cut people off when driving and also when walking and crossing the street, and have never once had someone honk or yell at me. I may get a little bit of an eye roll as they give you the hand gesture to let you know to go ahead. Driving in Mexico or anywhere outside of your home base can be a little intimidating. But there isn't the passive aggressiveness in driving here like there can be at home. In a taxi, we really haven't had any awful taxi experiences here as well. I've had plenty in other places. Ali and I have a few mantras, one of which is whenever we land in a new country, we accept that we will overpay for something or get taken advantage of in a taxi or in a restaurant or something like that. If at the end of our stay we lost less than $50 total in overcharges, then we'll give ourselves a pat on the back. And usually it's way less than $50. Taxis don't run on meters here, so the taxi drivers choose the price based on a ballpark of where you're going. We usually pay within 10 or 20 pesos of what I expect it to be. Once, last October, I paid a taxi driver 200 pesos for about a 3-mile round-trip excursion to pick up some wood. It was a little high. The workers here at our house got a good laugh at how much I paid. But a couple weeks before that, we had to load up a bunch of stuff and taxi it from our condo to the house here. And we needed 2 taxis. They offered to do it for 40 pesos each, which seemed fair. And with their help loading and unloading, it only took about 15 minutes, so we doubled their asking price when we paid. Also, a year ago in April, I left my cell phone in a taxi, and the driver came back and delivered it. The taxi experience will mostly be good here. And it can sometimes be hard on the taxi driver and the passenger, especially when you can't move past the language barrier. So when there's that issue or conflict on a price or a destination, I try to remember to cut the driver some slack as I'm operating in his country. At the store, if you're at a store with a register that scans, then the price that scans is the price that you pay, regardless of whether it's supposed to be on sale or a lower price. You will not win that battle. I've tried. So be prepared to pay the price on the screen or don't purchase the item. At the restaurant, the price on the menu may not be the price you pay, especially when it comes to drinks. This is a fairly common occurrence. If we were in the US and a restaurant tried to charge us a couple extra dollars, I'd probably make a little bit of a stink knowing that they would honor the menu price. Since it's a fairly common occurrence here, and once you realize it's really just a couple bucks extra a month you're paying, it's helping a restaurant stay in business, then it's not worth the conflict. Plus, I don't think there's really any shenanigans going on with the overage in pricing. It's usually something like the restaurant decides they need to raise prices 5 pesos on drinks, and they want to pay to create new menus. We actually recently had a really good experience at El Venador. They hadn't changed their menus, and the price on the drink my wife ordered had doubled, but they still honored the menu price. That was really cool and gave us another reason to like and support El Venador. Utilities. Here's where I'm a huge failure, because most of my battles are with cable and internet companies, whether we're here in Mexico or in the United States. I'm trying to wrap my head around acceptance that these companies are a huge work in progress. I switched from Mega Cable to Telmex twice, and both times the only way out was to pay a cancellation fee. We increased or ordered an increase in internet speed with Telmex, and while the price went up, the speed did not. So how to resolve these things, I do not know. And for 10 years, I worked in a sports and entertainment venue under the Comcast umbrella. I was technically a Comcast employee, and so if I couldn't figure out how to deal with cable internet issues then, I doubt I'll ever figure it out. Okay, now, in a condo. If you live in a condo, this will be where you may most need to learn to adapt. Our condo development was new, so we had to create the HOA and the rules. There's 3 stages to creating an HOA. The first stage is where everyone is happy and gets along because they assume that everyone else will want to run the condo the exact same way as them. The second stage is where everyone freaks out when they realize not all the people have the same vision for the condo. And the third stage is acceptance and finding a way to work together. One of the difficulties in a condo HOA is that most of the owners are remote, and therefore communication is almost exclusively via email. And as everyone knows, email is a totally different ball game versus in-person communication. We realized pretty early on that we would take a mostly hands-off approach, and that has worked out well for us. There are essentially 2 camps in a condo complex. Those that want to have lots of control on all aspects, pool rules, guest rules, elevator rules, security, whatever, and those that want to give the owners as much freedom as possible to make their own decisions. Ultimately, in a condo, there is a lot out of your control. Sometimes the president may make a decision on his own about something that affects everyone, or sometimes the HOA votes on something and they take a course of action that you would prefer they don't make, but you just need to live with those things. So if you don't want to operate under this system, or you don't want to share a wall, then it's not for you. Once we moved past the growing pains, we really have enjoyed having our condo here. With a house, you have neighbors as well, and it's Mexico, so you never know if you're going to live next door to someone with 50 barking dogs on their roof, or if you're going to live next door to some jerk remodeling his house for a year. With guests, when something has gone wrong, internet's gone out, or the neighbor above is making too much noise, they've really always given us an opportunity to fix it. And when the guests have gotten a little too rowdy, they have always been cool about dropping the volume on the party. We did have one pretty rough experience. We were helping manage another condo last year and had to show up on Christmas night because there was an argument between the caretaker and the guests that they could not resolve on their own. So that wasn't particularly fun. But generally, guests and owners can be reasonable. We try to be neighborly with everyone. We don't want to have any enemies. About the house that we're remodeling here, and the guys doing the work, they almost all have a great attitude and are willing to make changes, accept mistakes, and move forward and not get down at all. Most of the people that we've used have stood behind their work. The system is a little wonkier here compared with what you'd expect in the US, but I have as much confidence or more so than I do in the United States, working with a contractor and having some official signed contract. For us here, we try to use only recommended plumbers, electricians, pool guys, whatever, and it's been pretty good for us. We've got 3 months more or less to go, so we'll see. Right now, we are dealing with an issue on a complaint we received about our property and the project here. It's a new issue for us, but we're not sweating it. We know we're doing things the right way, and we're not trying to cut any corners. Plus, the architect is really helping us navigate through this problem. In the next couple weeks, I'll let you know how that turns out. All right, what else did I miss? Hopefully this little video doesn't create any new conflicts for me. I think I was fair and not too tough on anyone. So, all right, thanks for watching. Take care.